Hey, y'all. Listen, so I'm probably not going to leave this video up because I look a mess. The lighting is horrible. However, I was sitting here and got an email about the story of Jabez, the prayer of Jabez. And so if you don't know the prayer of Jabez, I want you to go and read First Chronicle 4:9 through 10. And the prayer of Jabez is about he was called more honorable than his brothers, but that's not how his story started. Okay. So Jabez's name meant sorrow because his mother actually she gave birth to him in pain. And that is how she experienced him. Now, what's so powerful and significant about this is that she proclaimed his story or proclaimed his legacy based on the pain she experienced giving birth to him. However, immediately after, in that scripture, Jabez actually asked God, he said, "Oh, that you would bless me and enlarge my territory. Let your hand be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain." And God granted his request. And so I thought about how many of us know or who are willing to admit that we haven't always been the best, right? Like we are the villain in someone else's story. You get what I'm saying? And not that we did it intentionally. However, as we go through life, when we have not healed, when we are experiencing our own journey of growth and maturity, we can inadvertently negatively impact the lives of others. Now, because think about it, Jabez's mother bore him in pain, so she means she was in pain. That was her experience with him, regardless of his intent. It wasn't his intention because he was just being birthed into the earth. However, she still bore him in pain, and she named him based on her experience with him. And so many of you, you may find yourself in a place where people are still trying to hold you hostage to who you were. They're trying to remind you, or they have decided that that is who you are based on their experience with you at that time. Even if you didn't intentionally, do anything. However, what I want you to get from this is that you have the power to pray and to change your legacy, right? Jabez decided that although that was what his mother proclaimed, although that was the experience that she had with him, he asked God for a completely different story. He asked God for a completely different legacy. Okay. And because of that, we do not remember Jabez because as someone of sorrow, do we? Talk to me in the comments. We don't remember him as a person who is associated with sorrow. We know Jabez because of the power of the prayer that he prayed, and his legacy has now, his legacy and the prayer that he prayed in that moment has continued to change the legacy of so many others. So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how you started. It doesn't matter what someone else tries to proclaim over your life. And it doesn't matter who it is because it was his mother. Now, I could talk about some mother wounds, but I don't want to get into that today. So I'm going to keep it, I'm going to stay in this lane. However, it does not matter what someone else says. It doesn't matter how you started. There is power in your prayer. There is power in you being able to ask God to change the narrative, to change the story, and to change your legacy. You do not have to come into agreement with what somebody else has said and how they see you. You can change and rewrite your story. Okay. And so I'll share this really quickly and then I'm going to get off. Like I said, I'm probably not going to leave this up because if you guys can see, Doc is not looking the absolute best, but I don't care because I needed to get this message out. However, my story, for those of you all who do not know me, my story could have been very different if I had listened to what some other people said or what they decided about what my life was going to be like. Because one, I was a mother at the age of 15, which means that I actually became impregnated at 14, and I became a mother at 15. And so there were some people in my life that I trusted, like a teacher that I greatly admired, that looked at me and told me, you have ruined your life. Okay. There were people who decided that I was not going to graduate from high school. There were people who decided that because I was a teen mother, and also because of my family history, that I was not going to be anything except for barefoot, pregnant. Someone even said to me, and these were their exact words, the only thing you're going to be is a ghetto baby mama, and nobody is going to marry you. No man is going to want you. And my story was summed up by people who met me in my place of pain, right? But I decided that my story was going to be what I decided my story was going to be, right? A woman of integrity, a woman of purpose, married to a great man, a great wife, a great mother, a successful business owner. I decided that my story was going to be different. So I too prayed. Now, I didn't pray the prayer of Jabez back then because I didn't know it. However, there was a seed in me. I prayed and asked God to give me a different story. I said, God, I want to be better for my daughter, right? I want to give her the type of life that I did not have. I want to be an example for her, someone who overcomes adversity, someone who overcomes the obstacles that are standing in their way. And that is what God allowed me to do. But if I had allowed those seeds to take root, if I had allowed what they said to be my story, that would have been my story. And so what I'm saying to you is that you have the power to change your story. You can rewrite that story. You do not have to settle for what someone else has said about you. You do not have to settle for the choices that you made that you are no longer proud of. You don't have to settle for those things. Okay. Hey, Tanya, thank you for commenting, because I wasn't sure if y'all could, but I wanted to encourage you all, because when I think about where I have come from, and some people consider it bragging, but I don't consider anything bragging. Hey, Kenny. Yeah, it's been a minute, but Auntie is back. Okay. However, I don't consider it bragging. It's a blueprint, because when we've gone through things and we've overcome those things, we have now created a blueprint for other people who are in similar situations to follow that blueprint to have similar success, right? So I never consider it bragging, okay? However, according to statistics, according to some family history, according to what some people have said, I'm not supposed to be where I am in life. I'm not supposed to have been able to graduate from college, not supposed to have had, gotten a doctorate, not supposed to have been able to generate over $1 million in my business, not supposed to be married to a man that loves me like Christ loves the church, not supposed to have a great relationship, with my children, not supposed to be impacting millions of lives across the world. That was not supposed to be my story, right? Because of what other people said. But here's the thing I also want you to understand. People only see you from where they are. They don't always see you for where you are. They see you from where they are. And when a person has limited vision because they have limited experience, or, they may have limited faith, or whatever the case may be, they are not going to be able to see you where God has said he is taking you. See, your purpose and your path has been predestined, right? It has been predestined. And so God is saying to you today, I truly believe that he is saying to you today, that if you allow me to rewrite your story, it will be so much better than your beginning. That is what I think of when I read the story or read about the prayer of Jabez, is that he made a bold move and a bold decision to say, Mama, I know that was your experience with me. And I'm not trying to take away from your experience, right? However, I refuse to allow that to be my story. I refuse to allow that to be my legacy. I refuse to allow that to be my destiny. And he had enough courage to pray to the one that he knew was going to be, who had the power to give him a different story. Because he didn't just pray and say, God, I don't want to hurt anybody. He said, no, enlarge my territory and then bless me, right? Enlarge my territory and then bless me. right? So he said, bless me and enlarge my territory. So he's like, no, 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 no. Bless me and enlarge my territory, right? And then he said, let your hands be with me and keep me from harm so that I will be free from pain. And God granted his request. So he, again, his story changed because he made a decision. Your story can change if you make a decision. You don't have to listen. This may be the toughest time in your life. And the only way that you will not experience something greater is if you settle there. I hear this very strongly right now. If you settle there, you will stay there. So you have it's decision time. Somebody needs to put that in the chat box in the comment section. It's decision time. You can make a decision on whether you're going to settle there, because if you settle there, you will stay there. I chose not to settle. I chose not to stay. There is not a situation in my life that I allow to be permanent, especially when it's an unpleasant, situation, or a situation that I know doesn't align with what God has shown me his plan is for my life. No, 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 no. When I'm in a tough situation, you can try this as well, but I'm get ready to get off here because it's been 11 minutes. But whenever I'm in a tough time, a tough season in my life, I always write prophetically. Okay. I write my way out of the situation. I prophesy my way out of the situation. Why? Because everybody can prophesy. Everybody's not a prophet. However, anybody and everyone can prophesy because he poured out his spirit upon all men. And so whenever I'm in a situation that is not ideal, a situation that is not aligned with what God has promised me, I prophesy my way out. I speak to myself as if I'm already on the other side of it. One of the reasons I do this is because, number one, it reminds me that the situation is temporary. Number two, I'm putting my faith in God. And I am exercising my faith by showing and telling him that I know that this is not where I'm going to stay. You did not assign me to stay in this place. This place may be necessary for me to process through some things, right? Because that could very well be it. Maybe there may be some character, things that God is trying to work out. Maybe there are maybe there's some healing that needs to take place, right? However, I prophesy my way out because I know that it's not where I'm supposed to stay. That's not my destiny. It's a part of the journey. I may be passing through, but that's not my destiny. So again, I just wanted to remind you, again, I'm probably not going to leave this video up because, like I said, I look a hot mess. I just threw them, have them a little workout gear and stuff. I've been relaxing at the house today. However, you need to understand that you have the power to rewrite your story. The only way you stay in the place that you're in is if you choose to lay there. If you choose to settle, and if you decide that this is your destination, if you decide, and I'm going to say this, if you decide against what God has told you and what he has promised you, that is your choice. He's not going to force you out of it, but you have a choice and you get to decide if you're going to stay in that place or not. Okay? So real quick, sound off in the comments. Let me know what part of this connected with you. Just talk to me really quickly before I hop off of here. Hey, Tanya, Kenny, Shamia, hello, hello, hello. I'm glad you guys decided to join me today. I'm glad you guys decided to join me, but I'm excited to be back over here, on YouTube, and I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy the journey. I don't know what all God is going to do, but I'm definitely going to enjoy the journey. I do forget that there's a little bit of a lag as well with this, with YouTube. I always forget that there's a lag. Okay. All right. So I'm going to hop off here. I don't see any comments, so I'm going to hop off here. She says, I needed a. It didn't put the rest of your message on there. So I'm going to give you a second to so you can finish what you were typing. Oh, you needed this. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I love you guys immensely and intensely. I'm still going to keep that because I loved it. You guys grabbed a hold of it. But I'm going to get off here and I'm going to do a little bit of work today. But that's about it. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.